Weight is extended out. We're clawed around the tree. Let's hit that button. Oh boy. Oh, this is going to go so wrong. Oh, it's falling. Oh, the vehicle's falling too. No, not to that side. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Scrap Mechanic with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our base and to our logging vehicle. In the last episode, we make some quite good progress on this thing, actually getting the blades to turn for the first time, getting all the components on there that we will ever need, and extending the piston out, as well as the loading surface for our little, well, massive at this point counterweight that will aid us in getting this thing working. And well, today it is going to be time to actually extend this cage fully upwards to get its entire functionality going, as well as finishing off this counterweight part in order to then, hopefully, for the first time ever, properly cut down a tree today that we cannot knock down with our hammer. And ideally not toppling the whole thing over in the process, which remains to be seen if we shall be successful on that side. But just quickly then, before we get started on that, if you're new around here and if you happen to enjoy this episode, please make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below. We're trying to hit 1k subscribers currently, and there's still a good bunch of people to go, so every single person would truly help out a ton. With that out of the way, though, if we have a quick look into my inventory, you can see that I've actually been on a little POI trip. I've got another 10 component kits ready to go. Not quite sure we're going to use them today, though, because the spring upgrades that we would potentially want to go for currently use 8 component kits apiece. And there's not really that many more component kit sprawling POIs anywhere close that I would easily be able to farm, so maybe something we'll only do in the next episode then, in preparation for the mega big trees, because I think we will be starting with smaller ones like those for the time being to hopefully ensure that we're not going to topple over. We'll see about that. And you can also see, no you cannot see, I've got a whole lot of mesh going for us so that we can actually finish that front clawing mechanism today. Well, more than, no, actually the exact amount that I had remembered, 300 pieces, so we should be good to go in that sense, I hope. And I mean, of course, you know, scrapstone for the counterweight, we've got more than enough to design that in the very end, so that's all good. Also got a tad bit of food remaining down here just in case we are going to be absolutely starving, and we do of course have a bunch of arms that I've, as you can see, properly welded together. I hope you're proud of me, Spastic Cube. I finally got the transport methodology up to snuff again. But yeah, properly welded together from all the bots from the POI I visited in the meanwhile, of course. So I'm going to go and throw that at the refinery as well, because of course we need to replenish all that scrap metal that we're using on all this mesh. Now, let's go and let's start working on this thing. I'm just going to go and put my lift right here for myself, and then we're going to go and start pulling up the front part of the mesh for a start. I hope that I do have enough now. Honestly, I mean, worst case, we still have a bunch of tier 1 metal that we can push into that production. We certainly have enough to bring the claws up to this sort of level, but I'm kind of thinking with a little hop that we will probably pull this stuff up further. The question is just how much are we going to need to pull things up? I mean, given that these trees can be quite crazy high, I feel like this here may be somewhat the size that we want to go for. The other thing, of course, is that we also need to sort of hope that in the end we will not have these claws absolutely bug out in our face with all the stuff that we're doing here. You can also see that I've already ran out of mesh again. I always keep underestimating the amounts that we need here. I am very sorry for that, but I mean, we do have the entire back weight to go still as well, so, you know, surely got a bit of work left to do there. Now, I mean, for the claws, I would really like to attach these to the vehicle at a second point too. But I think we all know that attaching this to 2 bearings at a time is not really possible, so this will literally be the only point of attachment. Kind of worried that they may end up starting to glitch out once the trees fall. Also, another thing to actually maybe keep in mind here is that, of course, the trees have branches, as is evident right here. So we cannot actually bring the claws too far up in the end. Let's first things first, I'm going to go schedule a whole batch of mesh again. Then I think we'll go for a quick drive over to one of the smaller trees, just to ensure that we won't actually have any branches be in the way there with this high of a clawing mechanism. So, let's go, and is it this to open up the claws? It is. Oh, that's actually an issue, wait. I need to take this away before the claw glitches into the entire thing. Try that again. Open up the claw. Out we go. Still drives quite nicely, I have to say. Bit front heavy now, but evidently we're going to change that. Oh, also, on the topic of this lag, I actually still had this lag even while playing off screen. And it's only in the region of my base. So I'm not sure if we built too many things here entirely or what exactly is the case. One thing that Spastic Cube had suggested to me in the comments though was to actually start picking up all of these little tote pod heads that I see and placing them down to try and limit the lag a bit, because apparently that can very much cause that. And I mean, this here being like very close to the farm and site of regular tote pod massacres, you can very well see just how many of these flippin' heads are flying around right here. And I mean, I can very much imagine that the game's getting absolutely murdered by that. So, you know, just looking around for a quick minute, it's feeling like it's starting to get a little better. And then occasionally worse again. I don't know, you know, this, whatever is going on around the base right here, I'm really not sure. But something the game does not like there at all. Maybe it's just the... I mean, it's really not like we have a ton of vehicles out here. It's not like there's huge amounts of things going on. So I'm really not entirely sure what this whole issue stems from. But maybe, at least, getting rid of all those tote pod heads does help a little. It certainly feels a tad bit more stable for a start. We're going to have to deal with this lag, I guess, for a quick second until we're out of the range of the base, so apologies for that. I am not able to zoom out any further. I think I had a suggestion in the comments at some point to just adjust my FOV for this purpose, so maybe we'll have to do that. Now, the one thing that I can already notice is that how low this thing scrapes across the floor is most certainly a tad bit of an issue in terms of getting stuck on things, and I'm also already considering to make the back wheels steerable as well, to be quite honest with you. Uh-oh. Go away! Just because the turning radius is quite mad. Another consideration maybe being placing the back wheels a tad bit further towards the back to make the design look a bit more, you know, fluent. I don't know, maybe we'll adjust the wheels on this thing eventually. But looking at this then, it appears as though the branch height here is totally fine. Now, really tempted to just go knock this tree down as is now and see if this whole thing works. But I think we're just going to at least finish the cage and the counterweight. I don't want this thing to topple over. Also, really, I don't know, I'm sorry for the lag. This has only really started happening for like the last episode now, so maybe it's also tied to some sort of update. Oh, the one thing I have to say is that the turning radius of this thing is absolutely insane. Maybe we should really consider making the back wheels turnable too. I mean, that's quite crazy, and we're never really going to go zoom across the place at max speed with a massive thing like this anyway, so maybe sacrificing a bit of the road stability for some extra maneuverability wouldn't be the worst idea in the world here. But okay, so with that out of the way, I'm going to go schedule a whole nother batch of mesh, and then we're going to go start shaping out the back weight. I'm not entirely sure right now as to the wheels. I mean, looking at the vehicle, you know, what I'm really thinking is if this wheel were to be a bit more like there, that it would look better, to be quite fair. So, you know, maybe something we'll have to do. It's more of a design choice, I suppose, you know. We don't really care too much about the stability. We would, on the other hand side, probably also sacrifice even more maneuverability doing this. So, it's got to be something that we'll have to think about here, and, I don't know. We'll find out as we go. For the time being, the important part here is to actually finish up this part. Now, why have I widened this at the end? I'm not quite sure. I do not think that was intentional. We also are apparently out of these wooden blocks, which may be an issue for the corner blocks here. Okay. So in terms of the weight design, I'm really not quite sure how we want to finish it off towards the back. I would really love for this to be a tad bit less cubical in the finish, if that makes sense. Let me go and extend that thing out. Wow, okay. So I just want to make sure that we basically only build on this here for the time being. I am not entirely sure how we can make this look at least a bit better. Maybe through some sort of design like that, where we slim things off towards the end, you know? May also be looking quite weird, though, to be totally honest here. Yeah, we'll have to go get rid of one of these. I don't know, do you all think that makes things look any better? Should we just keep it cubical? I am really not sure. The other question is... Oh, right, this is the wheel well here, isn't it? Does it have to be like that, though? No. We should probably just take those blocks out, because honestly, it's 3 blocks for us to use on the construction, and it also enables us to put more weight on right here when, you know, we're not even going to say anything anyway, so may as well. No penalty for that. Well, more of a bonus in terms of free wooden blocks. So yeah, I mean, this here is definitely the wheel well now, but the other stuff we were able to get rid of. I'm not sure, you know, actually redesigning the entire wheel well would also mean us having to redesign the weight and everything. We'll see about this part. It would also mean us losing a tad bit of weight, because we can't just put weight in the front here. Well, I mean, we technically can, but it won't be extendable for us, so it's also another consideration. A different question would also be, what do we want to do with these empty spaces right here? We could, in theory, use them to just hide some extra weight behind, like, some wooden blocks. That would still act as a bit of a counterweight to the tree, while at the same time also protecting this inner part a bit more. Kind of considering to do that. I think we will, to be honest. We'll have to see just how we do it. Maybe somewhat like that. Maybe even just somewhat like that to, you know, not make things too weird in shape. And then we'll cover this up with wooden blocks eventually. That'll give us even a bit more weight. I like the idea. I do very much like the idea. Another option would honestly also be getting some of this backloading surface made out of stone, but... What was that? Was there a sound? Not quite sure. But yeah. Also, kind of considering to reinforce these back springs, to be fair. To not have this thing slouch as much. But honestly, it doesn't really matter once we're grabbed around the tree. The only important point would be that if and when we pull that in, it doesn't slouch too much, which indeed it doesn't. It's actually, in fact, quite balanced at this point. Well, not entirely, but it's somewhat more balanced. Now, we can technically extend this one out a tad bit more. So I'm thinking we will. Maybe we'll also round that off a bit at the end there. Whoopsies. I like that approach more. Let me know what you think of that all, right? Like, I don't know, I think I could use some input on all these design decisions that I'm making here, so please, feel free to share your thoughts. I would very much appreciate it. I'm not sure that this rounding off really makes things look better or worse. Could be the latter, to be honest. Let me go and extend this out once more, make sure nothing's stuck on the frame there. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so, nope, we had that pulled in. We'll keep it pulled in. We'll go and grab all the other frame stuff that we got, and we'll... Could it be that the wooden vehicle, well, that the logger is the thing causing all this lag? That, like, this back weight is so heavy that it's trying to glitch into the wood, and the game's kind of calculating against it, and that's what why the game's hating me that much at this point? I feel like the entire reason for all the lag may be this very vehicle. Because, I mean, it's like the back weight is heavier now, and I feel like the lag is worse than ever before. I don't know how bad it is for you all, but it's quite terrible for me. I'm really not sure if we may be, or if I at least may be, the one at fault for this stuff. I hope I'm not. And I really hope that my over-engineering attempts here are not the reason behind all this, because that would be bad, you know. I want to get a cool vehicle done here and not cause so much lag that the game becomes unplayable for us, so... I don't know, we'll have to see, hopefully. Hopefully it's not that, and there's some other option, I mean... we'll have to see. We will very much have to see about that one. Let us, though, for the time being, continue pulling this stuff out even further. I kind of feel we should not pull it up that far, unless we somehow magically find the amount of resources that we need for that, because I currently doubt that we will. You know, we'll see. At least we do have these corner pieces ready to go now, so that's something beautiful. Absolutely almost yeeted myself off there, but luckily not quite. Boom, boom. I'm really not sure about the height. This thing's also swaying a tad, but... oh. You know what I think is the actual issue with all the lag? I kind of feel it may be the claws. Look at this. I mean, evidently, having this thing only attached to one point on the vehicle is quite the big issue, especially if you attach that much weight to it. So, maybe these things bugging back and forth is the actual reason behind all the lag that we're currently encountering, and just, like, lowering the weight on the front there is going to solve it a bit for us. I'm really not liking that, though. If any of you have got any ideas as to how you could attach this thing to two different points, you know, I would be very open to attaching it to a point at the top here, you know, where the claw basically ends, and then having it attached once at the bottom, once at the top, which kind of would help a bit, I guess, in stability. But I think the last time we tried to attach something to two bearings, which, as far as I remember, was like the canopy for our cockpit there, I'm quite sure that didn't work. So please let me know. I mean, if you have any ideas on how to make this, well, attach this to 2 points or make it more stable, I would appreciate it. But looking at this, I kind of have the unfortunate feeling that my over-engineering attempts here are what is kind of, you know, really causing some issues for us with the lag. Hopefully removing a few of these things, though, is going to help for the time being. We're just going to go get this all down to one level. and somehow hope that this is now going to be a bit better. Really hard to discern that block from the others. Okay. That's that. It feels like the glitchiness is gone now. So maybe we have somehow somewhat resolved this issue. That said, it also feels like this thing is one too high still. So this is kind of where we're going to end up with the cage. The glitchiness is somewhat gone, the lag is somewhat better. I feel like this may have been part of the reason. We'll have to see though. I hope the tree doesn't just topple over now because the cage is too small. Kind of thinking that the large one may, that the smaller ones I'm not sure. But we'll test things out like this, I think. I think it is time to finally get the logger in for a proper reality check and see just how well it works for us. So let's go, let's check this thing out. We're gonna, as I said, kind of just pick out one of the smaller trees back there. God, the lag is insane. It feels like the second we start moving this... No, honestly, I mean, now we're at like 2 FPS. Are we? I feel like the second we start moving this thing is when we get all the issues. What about if I close it? Is that going to give me some level of extra stability? That... Oh my god. The game is so slow right now. I cannot tell you just how much this game hates me. But I would say quite a substantial bunch. This sucks. I think this may entirely be 100% down to me just doing this claw mechanism up front and the whole thing only being attached to one point and swaying around so much, causing all this lag. I mean, if this remains that unusable, we may have to entirely overthink that mechanism, which I really hope we don't, because this is quite cool, in my opinion. It would just actually have to work and not make the game entirely unusable for us, because currently I'm driving around with like 2 FPS here. I'm sure the recording is still smooth for you, but you can very much probably see just how, yeah, slowly the game's going for me. So slowly, in fact, that I just drove on top of a freaking rock. Oh god. Yeah, so I'm not sure about this. I guess the second we get out and don't move this anymore... I don't know, it's not entirely... Why is this game so unplayable? Can anyone tell me? I feel like this is the issue? I mean, technically, we've only expanded the claw part of the net upwards in the last episode, so it feels like that is the entire... Oh my god, did you just see that wheel? What in the world was that? I think I'm breaking the game with this construction. I literally am just breaking the game with this. I bet I'm going to start turning the blades and the entire game's just going to crash because there's too much to compute. So yeah, I don't know. Let's close this stuff up. We are now nicely wrapped around this tree, and I think we're just going to start the blades. If I find the right button... Actually, we need to extend this stuff out first. Uh-oh. No. Bad weight. Bad weight, why are you doing this? Oh god, the wheels again. Why can I not extend out my weight? We just did. We literally just extended this stuff outwards. Did I connect this somewhere now? Is that why we're having that much lag? I'm just going to take like one layer off of this. The lag is gone. Lol. Okay. And it extends out again. Okay. So that's what caused the lag, I guess. We accidentally extended the weight to the vehicle, and game physics really didn't approve of that. So, that's that. Weight is extended out. We're clawed around the tree. Let's hit that button. Oh boy. Oh, this is going to go so wrong. Oh, it's falling. Oh, the vehicle's falling too. No, not to that side. I mean, we did knock over the tree. We did kind of not take apart the tree at the speed that I was hoping, though. Oh, frickin'. Go away, you monster. Totally didn't want to say a not YouTube approved word there. Mission success, everyone. It went just as we thought it was going to. Oh, damn it. Why? I was so hopeful that this was going to work, and then it didn't. See, you know, now we can just take it down manually and knock things in. It did technically take apart one part of the tree. It's just that it didn't take apart all the things at once. So the tree couldn't fall downwards and it started toppling to one side. So maybe if we put blades more around the entire... I don't know. I think maybe we will have some... There must be some way of getting this to work a bit better. Let's turn off these things. Yeah. So, mission summary. The thing's lying on its side, just as I had anticipated it was going to. And the tree is absolutely not harvested, and instead I'm getting hunted down by random bots, but at least we got rid of the lag. Oh god, don't die now. Beautiful. Yeah, so... Well, I think we've got some more work ahead of us. I'm going to end it off on that note. I hope you all enjoyed it. More work ahead next episode to try and make this work a bit better for us. If you have any points that would help me in making that work a bit better for us, please feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I would very much appreciate that as usual. And, well, then let's see if we can actually somehow make this work in the future. For today, this has been it. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to smash that like button right down below. That does always help out a ton with the video performance. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one with a bit more of a successful attempt at this. Thanks for watching. Ciao.